따라서 피청구인을 파면함으로써 얻는 헌법 수호의 이익이 대통령 파면에 따르는 국가적 손실을 압도할 정도로 크다고 인정되지 않습니다. 이에 주문을 선고합니다. 주문, 이 사건 심판 청구를 기각한다.
On April 4th, 2025, as the Constitutional Court dismissed the impeachment case against President Yoon Suk-yeol, protests erupted across the country, with demonstrators rejecting the ruling and continuing to clash violently. The protests began in Seoul and quickly spread to cities across the country, including Gwangju, Daegu, Busan, and Changwon. By April 6th, pro-impeachment protesters in Seoul had escalated the unrest by attacking Namdaemun Police Station and seizing control of Seoul Station with weapons, marking a shift toward increasingly violent confrontations. On April 10th, as nationwide protests grew more intense and police forces began to lose ground, President Yoon Suk-yeol convened an emergency cabinet meeting and declared a state of national emergency. The president's decision further enraged the public, deepening the unrest and fueling nationwide outrage. On April 12th, during a fierce clash near Seoul Station, the military opened fire on civilians in the square. This act marked a turning point, sending the situation spiraling completely out of control. On April 15th, an order was issued to the entire military under the name of the Acting Army Chief of Staff. Following this, regional military units began to break away from the command structure of the Seoul government. Upon hearing the news, the Joint Chiefs of Staff issued an order for all troops to return to their original positions. However, communication with major military units had already been lost by that time. The Democratic Party of Korea, the nation's main opposition party, refused to tolerate what it called the president's loyalist coup. From Gwangju, Jeollanam-do, it issued the Declaration for a Democratic Government. Through this, it announced the establishment of the Democratic Government of Korea in the region to resist the rebellion. In response, the Seoul government declared the Democratic Government of Korea in Jeollanam-do to be a rebellion. It attempted to deploy the military to suppress it, but with the chain of command already collapsed, the government found itself powerless to take any effective action. Witnessing the government's helplessness, some members of the ruling party began rallying around Daegu Mayor Hong Jun-pyo. Using the suppression of the Democratic Party's rebellion as justification, Mayor Hong declared the formation of the National Government of Korea in the Yeongnam region. He vowed to crush the rebellion himself and build a new Republic of Korea. President Yoon became aware of the developments in the Yeongnam region and attempted to flee anarchic Seoul. His plan was to relocate to Daegu and take control of the situation from there. However, during the escape, the president and his family were killed by enraged citizens. On April 20th, following the president's death, a massive blackout struck the entire country except for the Yeongnam region. Widespread chaos unfolded across South Korea, marking the official beginning of a full-scale civil war. South Korea had reached the greatest trial a nation could endure, and its people now stood at a crossroads, facing a moment of decisive choice.